Alright, listeners, once again I thank you for your time. Today we will be making an interesting video. We will be talking about zip file, how to unzip file into your Jupyter notebook. Make use of it. This file could be sales data, it could be informations regarding to data analysis, it could be anything that contains data. So why do we use a zip file function? The reason why we use zip file function, one, to reduce storage requirements, to improve transfer speed over standard connection. There are some other importance, but I'm just listing these two important ones. One, to reduce storage requirement, and also to improve transfer speed over standard connections. Now, in Python has zip file. It is regarded as a standard library module which intended to manipulate zip file. This file format is widely adopted by industry standard when it comes to archiving and compressing digital data. Okay, so you can use it to package together several related files. It could be more than 5 different files zipped together. And okay, so because we are going to work with zip file today, I'm going to import some few libraries. Okay, I'm going to import some few libraries, after which we'll now go straight to how we're going to read it into our Jupyter notebook. Let me not forget to zoom the screen so that you can see the code that we will be writing today. Now that we have been able to do that, first I'm going to import, I'm going to say from zip file, import zip file, like something like this. When I run it, it's showing an error, so we are going to look at the reason why we are getting this error. Say from zip file, import zip file. Okay, it's capital letter, the F supposed to be capital letter like this. All right, from zip file, import a zip file. So this is what we'll be working with. So we have successfully imported this library. Now what we're going to do here now is this. I'm going to come here and use a single lines of code, just one single line of code. First, I'm going to import one other library which I call pandas. Say import pandas as PD. I urge you to watch my previous video where I talked in detail about pandas and some other libraries. Pandas is a Python data analytical function, so we can use it to read data. It's very, very important when it comes to reading data and displaying it in a column and row with an header. So it's very, very useful. Most of the time when you want to read data, you're most likely to use pandas. It's very, very important and it's widely used. So we're going to import pandas just like we've imported it. I'm going to run this code. Okay, good. Now that we've successfully imported our pandas, I'm going to define a variable. I'll call it reader zip, or just call it a data. I'm going to call it data equals to, I'm going to say okay, PD, which is our pandas, pd.read underscore CSV. All right. Now we are going to locate where this zip file is in my system. I'm going to come to my folder here. If you look at it, we have a zip folder, a zip file here, and inside my folder called online teaching. All right. I'm going to click here, right click, go to property. From property, I'm going to come to my security. For security here, I'm going to get this extension. Okay, click OK, go back to my Jupyter notebook. I'm going to paste it here. Now, instead of using a backslash, I'm going to use forward slash. Change this to forward slash. Change this to forward slash. And also change this to forward slash. I'm going to do this so that you will understand the difference between reading normal file and reading zip file. Okay, now if I run this code, how will it show? I'm going to come here and say data dot head Good. All right. So we've been able to read this file even as using the extension .zip. If you look at it here, the file is zipped. Okay. We've been able to import it into our Jupyter notebook. This is the whole data where we have the row ID, order date, shipping mode, customer ID, customer name, segment, country, city, state. This data is up to 18 column. Okay, to know the shape of this data, I'm going to come here and I say data.shape. Python is very, very robust. We have 9,800 rows, 18 columns. Okay, so it's a very large data set. So we've successfully use this first method to read data, zip data. Now, what about we don't want to write all this lengthy code? It's too much. I can say, okay, this is come up here, say method 1. This is first method. Let's talk about again second method. I'm going to come here and I say method 2. All right. Now in this method 2, I'm going to do something again. I'm going to come here and say data2. I'm going to define another variable equals to pd.read_csv. Now, instead of getting the whole extension like we did initially or previously, I'm not going to get all this, getting my C drive extension, getting my username, and all, even including the folder name. No. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just get only this. All right. Getting this, the name of the file, as it will save in the data in our folder. I'm going to come here and also inside the same round bracket, I'm going to use a function, a keyword called compress. Okay, compression. All right, I'm going to use a compression equals to. I'm going to let you know that this is a zip file. With this, if I run this code, let's see how it looks. Good. It show me this data where, and there is no error. Okay. Now, if I come here and say data2.head, because we wanted to show us the data, good. It also give us the data as it is in our first method. Now, the third method I want us to look at is this. All right. I want us to look at the third method. The third method is going to be in this format. If I come here, it's okay. I'm going to come back here. All right. I'm going to come here and read this data in another method. All right. If I'm to come here, what I'm going to do, title here, method 3. All right. In this third method, it's almost similar to what we did before. Okay, it's not going to be that much different, but I'm going to do it in a different way. All right, I'm going to come here. I'm going to come and say data3 equals to pd.read_csv. All right, get this extension. All right. Now, the third method is telling you that we are going to use the zip function that we have imported, which is this. Get this zip function. All right. I'm going to put it here. After which, I'm going to open another bracket, round bracket. All right. I'm not going to get this O extension like we did before. This O extension, just like this. Get this O extension. All right. Then paste it here. Remember, it's going to be in double bracket or single bracket. Now I'm going to come here and say dot open. Open is also a function. Now that we're going to do that, I've done that. The next thing I'm going to do is to just get the name of that particular data. Look at it. This is the name. All right. I'm going to copy it because if I unzip this data, remember, it is a CSV data set. So because it is a CSV data set by original, okay, I'm going to come here and I say .csv, because if you look at it from our code, we say read pd.read CSV data. Okay, originally this data set is a CSV data set. Okay, by extension. We can use XML, which is pure Excel. Okay, so but extension of this file, if I should come here and say, okay, let me unzip it. I will unzip it later so that you will see that truly it's an CSV data set. Now if you look at it and I say getting the name of that particular data set and I say .csv, if I run this code, good, no error, and I say data 3 dot what head show, good. All right, it also what give us the same data set, the way it display it from what the method 1. This is the first method. Okay, this is what the second method, and this is also what the third method. So it is left for you, my listeners, to follow any of these methods, the one that is convenient for you. But so far so good. I've successfully what showed different method to read what a zip what folder or a data set that is zip. All right, now we can do more. We can explore more on this data set. Now that we are successfully what unzip it and read it into our Jupyter notebook, I can decide to use either data 1 or data or any of the data variable name to what start to do what exploit. I can come and say, okay, let's know the shape of this data set. Let's know this statistical inference or the descriptive statistics related to this data set. I'll say descriptive, describe, hit it. All right, this one will give us something like this, data.describe. Okay, it's showing us the data in this format. If you look at this, you will see that these are all that is inside that data set. All right, but suppose I come here, I use this method, good, because I didn't call it as a function, I just called the describe as a variable or a parameter. Okay, now that I use a round bracket in front of the describe, it's giving us the count. Okay, giving us the mean, giving us the standard deviation, giving us the mean, minimum, the 25 percentile, 50 percentile, and 75 percentile, as well as what the maximum number of it. Okay, so this is what the describe function does. Now if we move further, let's check if actually there is an empty what data, where we have an empty data, where in a row, for instance, in let's say in this row, if you look at it, it's showing us just the first 5 what rows. Okay, when you use a head function, that is how it works. If I want to show more than that, I can just come here and say data.head. Inside this round bracket, I can put 50 or 90. You see, it will show me up to what? Up to 90. Okay, you see, it just takes 0 down. If you look at it here, you find out that there's a dot. That means there are some missing what rows that are not displaying here. Okay, but this is how far Jupyter Notebook can show or display what the data. Now if you want to see the last row in this data set, which is 9800 row, I can just say data dot what tail. Okay, hit enter. Okay, you see that it will show that 9799. You remember 0 is added, so it's counting it as what row 1. Okay, so cumulatively we have what 9800 row. Okay, now that we've gotten that, what I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to come here and ask, okay, data dot is none to check if we have a non-empty row. Hit enter. Good. Look at it. False. Where we have to, you know that there's what a non-value here. Since it's showing me false, that means the whole data are what complete. There's no empty place where we have 0 or a non-value. Okay, so that on that. Now let's move further. What I want to do again is this. I'm going to come here. I'm going to check as well. If I'm so say, let me come here and say, okay, each of these get me the what will I say? Let me say, okay, I want to get the sum. Okay, the sum of the sales data, because if you look at it here, we have what is sales data. Look at the sales data here, amount of each what product sold. Okay, this is the category, subcategories are the category of what the product. Now I'm going to come here. I'm going to come here and ask, okay, get some. Okay, I define a new variable. I say data. All right. Dot. Okay, since I'm going to let me not use dot, I just say get the sales. All right. If I want to get the whole column so that I can easily what access it here, I can say data dot columns. Hit enter, see all the columns available. I'm going to copy this says, paste it here, and I say dot sum. Sum is also a function. Hit enter. Now I'm going to say, okay, print this get sum by passing it here. The sum of all the sales made is close to 226,000. Okay, let's say 22,615,033 naira or dollar or whatever denomination you are using. So if I want to make this, to reduce it to, let's say to 0 decimal, okay, there's another function we have here. I can come here, okay, I can come here and say, okay, come over here and say pd dot it's another function we can call that, say pd dot I can just set the precision, okay, yes, I can set the precision to 0. I can decide to set the precision to what, any number depending on the decimal value I want to choose. Okay, I can choose to set precision, right? So precision is also a good one. Are you getting me? So I can choose to use what, precision, all right? So now that we know that, you can choose to reduce the precision here, all right? It depends, all right? Okay, now what I want to do here, I'm going to come. All right, now we can still make use of pandas.set option. It's another way we can what, change our decimal value to 0 or 1 decimal value. You can just change it to 1 or 2 as the case may be. Anyone with this function, with these lines of code, you can what, reduce what, the number of decimal what values. Okay, so you can try that on your own, but this is what the code does, and that is how the code looks like. Now we can as well do some few things here if possible. I want us to just explore a few things before we can wrap it up, because I'm going to, like I said, it's just mainly on how to what, read a zip what data set. There are so many other things we can do in terms of exploration, try to exploit this data, make use of some Python function to analyze the data, unveil some hidden patterns, and also could make a decision. So, but so far so good. Before I go, I want to show you something very, very interesting. If we look at this data as it is, I can say, let me get all the data that has to do with what, one particular region. Okay, say for instance, I'm going to say locate. All right, I'm going to define a function. I call it a locate region. Okay, say locate region as a variable. Remember, I have a variable called data. Okay, now I'm going to use what, log function. Okay, log function is a function in Python that is used to what, locate what, a data in a particular row. Okay, now because we are locating a particular region, I'm going to pick this name, a column name called what, region, put it here, double or single quotation, anyone, it does work. I will now say get me a region where the region is equals to south region. With this, if I hit enter, before that I'm going to say, okay, because I want to display the data, I'm going to repeat this at the bottom here, hit enter. Good, it will get me all the data where region is equals to what, south. If you look at it here, all the regions, south. Okay, they are all showing the data related to what, south. This is another method of what, filtering. Okay, to filter data. Okay, to pull out some data with respect to your interests. All right, why do we do this? Look at the voluminous number of rows related to this data, 9,800 rows. Okay, if you want to say, okay, I want to get a particular data that is in a region, south region, okay, and that south region, I want to get some sales with $260, where sales were made $260. We can use what, locate function to do that. Now that we have defined a variable like this, okay, we can as well come here. All right, come here, say use this variable is equals to data, all right, get me that same region. I can get all this whole data, all right, but I'm not going to repeat this data. I'm going to change it as it is. I say get me region where sales, because we are going to look at sales, where sales is equals to, let's say we are looking at what? Let's say we are looking at sales where sales is equal to $262. All right, where we made a particular sales. Where do we use this? Take for instance, 262 were the highest sales made on a particular day or within a particular week, and that was a massive sale that was recorded over the month. So before that, a sales manager can come and say, okay, hello sales rep, get me that particular sales that trigger our, that boosted our what account to so what amount. I was so impressed. Get me that particular day, so that you can analyze what is actually going on that particular day, or this particular day where these sales were made. Was it a festival period? Was it a winter period? Was it a Christmas period? Was it any time? So they want to make sure, as a business analyst or a data scientist, your interest is to what? Get that particular day, analyze what actually was going on that very day. Were children graduating and they were buying a lot of products? So that when next you are what to prescribe to tell your managing director or the executive director that so time, whenever it comes to so time, so product should be kept or stocked with high level high quantity, okay, voluminous quantity should be kept in stock, so that in actual time, when this particular time will come again, student will be coming in a time like this. A lot of products has to do with coffee, supermarket, this office supply, appliances. A lot of people purchase it, they patronize us each time like this, or a time like this. So whenever that time is getting closer, we have to what? Stock our what? Our warehouse, so that when this time is approaching, people will continue to buy this product, so that we can't just get product that will get wasted at the end of the day. Nobody buy the product. So as a business analyst, these are various ways we can what? Unveil hidden patterns, okay, make meaningful insight, and also what? Make a wise decision in the face of uncertainty. All right, now if I come here now and run this code, let's see if it will be able to filter the whole data related to that. Now it's giving me no rows here. All right, it's giving me no rows here. Now why is it giving me this kind of data? I'm going to come here, I'm going to define a new variable. I'm going to say get sales at amount. This is a variable name, don't mind me. I'm going to get this whole data here, right? Paste it here, run this code, then try and access this. Good. Now if it's not getting me this data, there's another method that is very, very powerful. I want us to understand this. Using log function is also a good one, but Python has another techniques, an approach, okay, which is what? The query method. All right, I'm going to come here, I'm going to title it. I say using query method to filter what? Data on a row or in a row, okay, whatever way. Now that we have titled this using query method, I'm going to use what they call query method. That query method is very, very powerful as well. Using query method will enable us to get the data at ease, okay, at ease, without stress. All you have to do, just come here, define a new variable, call it get what? Or filter amount. Any variable name you can choose, and that's equals to our base data is what? Data, which is our variable base data variable name. I'm now use what? Query, open a bracket, use double quotation. Inside this double quotation, we are getting what? Says, and where says is equals to let's say 262. If I come here and run this code, no error, I'm going to come here, get this data. It's still showing me something as this. But what about if I come here and say where data is greater than or equals to, use this method, greater than or equals to this. Good. Where data is greater than or equals to what? 262. You find out that all the data that is greater than 262 is what will be displayed here. You see at it, the first one is 732, 958, 907, and so on and so forth. You see, the data will keep what? Increasing. Alright? It keep what? Increasing. But as well as okay, since if you look at the manner at which data is showing here, it's showing in an erratic manner. So we don't want it that way. What I want us to do is this. I'm going to come here, come over this place. We're going to use what they call a sort function. In Python, we have a sort function. Now I'm going to call this one sort amount as a variable name. Okay, you can choose any variable name of your choice. I say sort amount. Since we already defined a variable that is working, which is filter amount, I don't want to define any other variable because this is what we want to sort. I'll come here sort filter amount dot sort values. Okay, it's a function called what? Sort value. All right, I'm going to use what? Sort value. That sort value will enable us to sort. We can decide to sort in an ascending order or sort in a descending order. So we're going to come here and that's a sort value. And what are we sorting? We are sorting what? Sorting it by what says. I want to say use sort it by what says equals to what says, like this. All right, I hit enter. Good. It will display the whole data. Now if you look at it, see 262, 262, 262. You see, it sorts the whole data in what? In an ascending what? Order. Alright? This is a very powerful function as well. Okay? If I want to make this data to display more than this, if you look at it so far, we have just few rows. I can say, okay, get me extra 20 row, make it the row 20 display. I use what? The head function and put 20 inside here. Hit enter. You see, it will display all to what? 20 what? Rows. You see how powerful this way function what is. You can use sort method. You can use another one known as what? Group by. Group by is another what? Mechanism function which you can use to what? Group your what? Data. All right. So I want to stop here for now. In my advanced method using a data analysis, we'll be talking and making use of all these techniques and also all these various approaches, how we can what? Unveil hidden pattern, analyze our data. We can as well delve into a matplot library where we can plot some charts, okay? Because the essence of chart is to what? Display the data and make it easier for a novice or a layman to understand what the data, the chart actually depicts, okay? The growth on how the data what is what it look like, okay? In a real life, okay? If you are having a higher chart, take for instance, I want to plot a bar chart. You see, one will be higher than one. Instead, that if you are making reference to what says, it says that has 262 cannot be compared with the says that has what? 50. All right, their chart or their bar will not be at equal level. So in my subsequent video, I'm going to be talking about all these approaches where we can what? Unveil hidden pattern, make a meaningful insight, and also make a wise decision. So far so good. I want to tell you that we are going to stop here for now. Let me take a recap. Initially, we started with what? Importing these two libraries, and also we imported pandas, and we use the first method where we use what? This method to what? Read a zip data using what? Extension or what? .zip, and we're able to read the zip data, which is inside what? This folder. Like I told you earlier on, if I unzip this data, I come here and say unzip it, you will see that this data is what? A CSV data. Alright, it's a CSV what? Data. Okay, so I'm going to come here, come to what? Extract. Alright, extract. Good. Now if I refresh here, good, you find out that this data is what? Is a CSV what? Data by original. Alright, it's a CSV data. I have it here. If I close my window here, I will show you that I have this data inside my folder here originally, I'm going to come here and to show you where the data is. If I check here, come back here, you see that this data is here and is saved in this manner. I have it here inside my folder. Excuse me. I'm going to show you where I save this data. Alright. Okay, I call it a sales rep. Yes, it's called sales rep. If I call it sales rep or sales analysis, I use a simple keywords. But in another method, I can still do it this way. Hold on. Come here. Come to this place. Copy this data. Okay, I'm going to paste it on my desktop so that you can see how it looks like actually. Okay, I'm going to refresh my screen. Come here. Say extract it here. Good. You see, it has what? Extracted it. Look at it here. Okay. If I open this data, you see, if you look at it, you'll find out that it is what? .csv what? Extension. Right click, come to my property, alright, come to security, run it here, get this extension. You see, this is what? A CSV what? Data set. If I widen my screen, you see that it is also what? A CSV what? Data set. Okay, so that is why I was what? Importing it using what? The second method, using the third method, I use what? .CSV. Look at it here. I say .open what? CSV. And we're able to what? Use the second method as well to use compress what? Keywords to tell Python that this is what? A compressed what? File. We are using compression and I pass it to what? A zip. So we're able to as well check the descriptive of this data. The description, it gave us the count, mean, maximum, minimal, standard deviation, and a percentage level. And we're able to use to display the last row using the tail function. Check the none if there's an empty data. We use a none function, and also we can use the data.columns to get all the columns pertaining to this data, and also we can get the sum of any row or column with respect to the data that is in that particular what column. And again, I said you can use what? Precision. The Panda has a function called pd.set option. If you want to reduce the number of decimal value that is showing on your data, you can use what? pd.set function and set it to precision to 0. And again, we talked about filtering using a location function. We're able to filter data that related to a particular region instead of pulling the whole data. Okay, we're able to filter that which is related to what? SAT region. And again, I try as much as I could to also what? Filter with respect to what? Value or number. That way we talk about a query method. So we use query method and we're able to pull out some data with respect to that parameter that we have set. We say sales, where sales is equals to or greater than what? 262. And if you look at it here, these are the data we are seeing here, 262, after we have sorted it in a what? In an ascending order. So far so good. This is how far we can go. I thank you for your time. Thank you, my audience. And again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to comment. And don't forget to share this video. I remain your friend Joshua. Till next time, remain blessed. Goodbye.